What's going on, guys? Today I'm doing a Budget Ballers episode. I don't really know how I thought of this. I believe I used to watch these videos a few years ago for different 2K games, and I just felt like making one. I don't really remember who I watched, but I just remember this idea, and I thought it was a good idea. I had some extra MT for selling all my bronze players, or at least a lot of them. So here they are, and might make multiple episodes, but here's my first episode of Budget Ballers. I chose 3 players who all go for around 3K, 3 to 4K. The point being is packs are very bad this year in terms of the pack luck. So I figure as long as you spend less than the maximum pack, which is $42.75, it's pretty much a good buy if they're gold or below. Of course, amethyst you're gonna have to spend about 10K. But anyways, as I rant, these are my gold baller, budget ballers, at least for my first episode. First things first is this 1997 Mark Jackson card where he played for the Indiana Pacers. Now, many people might not care about Mark Jackson that much. He was a coach pretty recently, and he's not a huge superstar from the mid 90s and early 2000s. However, this is a very solid 84 overall card. I bought him for about $3,500, I believe, on the market a couple days ago. I'll check again what he's going for now, but he shouldn't be more than 4,000. And to go through his stats really quickly, he has a B inside, B mid-range, B plus 3-pointer, and an A plus playmaking for offense. He's a pretty good shooter. His form and his release is not that bad. I can hit it pretty consistently. I felt like in game I didn't hit many threes with him. I played with him in Gauntlet, and that was because in Gauntlet I really don't take it too seriously. That's why I use it as most of my background videos. But he does have a very good shot, especially when you know where his hot spots are. Go to practice and try him out. I was playing with him, and he was pretty good shooter, and he's a very good playmaker, as you can see by his A plus playmaking. I did a lot of pick and rolls, and he was very successful with this, making a lot of open shots. And he's a decent finisher around the rim. He's not the best. One of my favorite finishers in the game is Goran Dragic, where I feel like he never misses a layup. This one, he's still pretty good, but he's not elite finisher, but nothing to complain about, especially for a card that costs less than 4K. Now going on to his defense. His defense is much worse than his offense, where he has a B minus perimeter D, I believe a C plus steal, a post defense of a D plus, which isn't actually too bad for a guard. So if you ever get a guard who can post up like Sean Livingston or Magic Johnson, he won't do too much, but he won't be a complete liability. And I believe he had an F block because he was a point guard and they don't get a lot of blocks. Now he wasn't that good defensively. He's not that quick, so he gets blown by a lot. But however, you're not gonna really expect it too much when he's that good of an offensive player. As long as you have a good defensive big backing you up, you should be fine with him. I mean, he's not a complete turnstile where if you put him out there he's a liability, but he's not the best. So don't try to use him as a lockdown defender, but try to use him as a really good backup point guard. Now he's not super athletic with a C plus athleticism, and he can't rebound that well with a D plus, but he is very useful to have, especially with his A basketball IQ. And so overall, I thought he was a pretty decent guy for about 3K, 3,500. Let me look up how much he is right now on the market. Point being is that I was looking for cards, and I don't know, I felt like he'd be really good. I was looking at his stats on different websites, so I was like, why not try him out? So in general, the good things about him is definitely his offense. His shooting isn't that bad. He has a pretty good release, and yeah, if you ever need a backup point guard, that's exactly what he should be. He shouldn't be a starting point guard unless maybe if you're doing the road to playoffs and you're only allowed to use gold and you really don't have that much many good people. He's not that shabby to have. As actually I'm looking at it right now, there's one on the market and I'm on the PS4 for $2,800. The average is about 3K for buyout, so he's not that expensive. For 3K again, this card is actually a pretty good steal. Alright, next up is a card I actually bought on my own a few weeks ago, just because I like him a lot personally as a player, and this is Arvydas Sabonis. Right now I'm looking up his current price. I'm not expecting that much from him, and right now it looks like he's going for about 3K. Yes, there's a buyout 3K, but on average he'll probably go around 3,300. And so Arvydas Sabonis, the one thing about him that's super good is his immense size along with his offensive skill. This is the 2000 Arvydas Sabonis when he played for the Trailblazers. He's only an 82 overall, but the thing is, big men, their ratings don't matter too much. It's depending on what they can really do. And in this game, that's true for almost everyone about their ratings, more how good they are. Where you can get like I play with a Diamond Brandon Jennings, and I don't like him as much as someone like my Amethyst Steph Curry I pulled. Even though he's 2 overall points higher, I just feel like he's a much worse. Anyways, as I go on a tangent, Arvydas Sabonis is an absolute massive man, standing at 7'3" and about 280 pounds. He is very old at 35, but it doesn't really matter. And one good thing about this card, I know injuries aren't really a thing in this game, at least it doesn't seem to be for me. He has all green for health, which is good because I believe he had a lot of injuries I felt like he had some back injuries, but when he played for Portland. But anyways, let's go to his offense. Now, he doesn't have the greatest offensive skill, it looks like, with his stats, but he's a very easy to use guy. He has a B- inside scoring, but he is a really good post scorer where you can make a lot of easy shots with him around the basket. You can post him up. He'll make a lot of little hook shots and other shots around the rim. He misses some layups, but with this, you can't complain too much because he usually rebounds it because of his huge size. His mid-range scoring, my bad, is a B, which is actually very good because he has a really easy release. It took me about 2 minutes to get used to just in freestyle. So just practice it a little bit and you should be set with his release. It's a very fluid and clean release to use. And he's able to make mid-range pretty often. I remember I made, I think, a couple perfect releases for mid-range and gauntlet, which you usually don't see. So that's pretty good. He also has an okay 3-point shot for a big man. Even though it's a D-, I believe his standing shot 3 is like a 70-something. I didn't really make too much of them besides in freestyle, but it's definitely there in case you ever want to use it. And his playmaking is a D, but I feel like it's much better than that because he does have a decent like ball control. I don't know his actual rating, but playing with him, I just felt like he was able to hold on to the ball pretty well, and he was able to pass the ball due to his really big size, and he has decent ratings over there as well. Now moving on to the defensive side, he isn't as good as he really should be defensively, but the thing is, his size really makes up for it. He has a D perimeter defense because he's a big lumbering guy, so he's very slow and can't really keep up with guards. But his post defense is a B, and he has a B- block, so you're not going to get a lot of blocks, but you're going to get a lot of shot contests and people struggling to finish around him. So I believe his steals wasn't that good either. I don't remember exactly. It's probably around a D-ish range. However, defensively, if you put him down low just to kind of just take him some space and grab some rebounds, he has a B rebounding, but with his size, once again, it can really trump some guys who might have better ratings but are smaller, such as, I don't know, maybe a Ben Wallace or such, or maybe like Jared Sullinger, or I don't know. But point being, he'll take up a lot of space down low. He does have an A basketball IQ. His athleticism is absolutely horrendous. I think it's a D. Yes, it's a D. But the thing with him is that he's a very good finisher and he's a great offensive player. At least I feel like he is, and he can do a lot around the rim, whether it's defending, rebounding, or making some simple baskets. So he can do a lot of things for you. Personally, if you want this guy, I feel like he's a really good for a power forward because he's not the greatest shot blocker or rebounder, but right there would be good because he can be a stretch 4 pretty easily for you. I mean, he's 7'3", so center is his natural position. But point being, if you need a backup big man, this is for you. You're going to notice I mentioned a lot of these guys as backups because when you want to get starters, that's a little bit harder to go on a budget. You might have to drop about $6,000 for a good starting guard, at least, or starting player. At least for me personally, my starting lineup is pretty solid where most of them are over 90s and there's a couple like 89s, but yeah, some of you might not have as great of lineups, so I'm sorry if that sounds condescending or kind of douchey, but the thing is when you're starting off, you need some good cheap guys, and Arvydas is easily one of the best options out there. Now the final guy that I chose, he's actually a horrible offensive player in my opinion, but the thing is it's his defensive rebounding that make him almost not a necessity, but a great piece to have on your team, and that is the Defensive Player of the Year card, Mark Eaton. So Mark Eaton is one of the tallest players of all time and one of the tallest players to ever make an All-Star game. I believe he was an All-Star at 7'4". He stands 7'4", 291. as this monster of a center. He has a horrible offensive overall at a 69, but his defensive overall is an 88, which is better than most players. But anyways, so you can buy him from the market. He's a little bit more pricey than the two previous that I mentioned. You can also buy his regular card. I haven't tried it out, but I imagine it'd be the same thing with his huge size. But this one you can buy out for about 4,000. Most of them go around like 4,200, so it's just scraping the top of the budget ballers limit, I guess. But point being, you can pick him up for about 4,200 on the market. At least I see right now. He might go down a little bit, who knows. But the thing with him, just like Arvydas, is you want to use him as a big defensive lumbering, big defensive center who can just clog up the paint and play a lot of defense and rebound. Arvydas wasn't as good of a rebounder and defender, but this guy sure is. So going offensively, his shot isn't that good. I can usually make a shot though when he takes a step into it. I felt like I did it in freestyle where I was like at the free throw line. He took a step into it. He made it pretty consistently. And the thing is, he's just so big. He can finish around the rim pretty easily. The one weird thing about him is his standing dunk is really good, but I can't do a standing dunk with him. But the good thing about that is for some reason in this game, standing dunks are very inconsistent when you brick them a lot. But this guy makes all the layups around the rim, it feels like. So even though he's not going to score in the post for you and can't score mid-range, he can make get some garbage buckets for you. So like a really big DeAndre Jordan who is athletic. Once again, I mentioned his shooting isn't that great, and he doesn't have good playmaking. But the thing is, when you're that big, you can throw it over players pretty easily. So yeah, that's a good thing about his offense. But his inside scoring isn't that great in terms of posting up. But he can definitely get some offensive rebounds and finish. Now, going to his defense, this is where he absolutely thrives. Best stat out there is the A+ post defense. This will absolutely destroy almost any one posting up on him. Because first off, he's 7'4", like 290. Then you throw in an A+ post defense, no one will be able to score on him. He does have a D perimeter defense, so if he ever gets switched off to a guard, you're kind of screwed, just like Arvydas. But I don't know, I feel like Arvydas was a little bit more functional on the outside. But the thing about him that's very good is his A block. I believe he has a 98 overall block. Let me check real quick. Yes, he has a 98 overall block and a 98 contest, which means if anyone comes to the rim, they're not making a shot because he's going to block it or he's going to contest it very well. I don't remember his steal, but his steal was very bad when I was using him. But he does have a pretty solid A- rebounding, and with that size, those two work very well together. He has a decent IQ of a B+, which means he usually won't make dumb fouls and stuff like that. Of course, he's very unathletic at a D-, but he can still make it up and down the court fairly well. So overall, Mark Eaton is a very good defensive player to use, at least around the rim. He's good for grabbing garbage points. Just in my opinion, I view him as a much bigger, as I said a couple seconds ago, a much bigger but less athletic DeAndre Jordan. Where, yeah, you can throw it down to him in the post, and maybe he'll score probably at like a 40% clip. I don't know exactly the number I would put him at. But the thing is, you want him to put him on the defensive ends for him to just clog up the paint and get a lot of rebounds. The thing about him is he's a much better free throw shooter than DeAndre Jordan, where DeAndre Jordan's like a 40% free throw shooter, but this guy's a 71 for his free throw, which is pretty good for a big man. So that's Mark Eaton for you. I like him as well. So once again, going through my 3 budget ballers for this episode. First up was the 97 Mark Jackson, 84 overall. The 2000 Arvydas Sabonis, 82 overall. And the 85 Mark Eaton, who, funny enough, is an 85 overall. And this is the Defense Player of the Year card. You might be able to save some money by using his regular card. I feel like it'd be pretty similar, not entirely, but hey, try them out. I enjoy playing with them. You might too. So anyways, guys, this is my first ever Budget Ballers episode, or whatever I'm going to call it, most likely that. Thank you for watching. Tell me what you think about this series or idea or whatnot. I think I'll make some more because I enjoy trying out these guys who a lot of people have never really used before. And yeah, so tell me about that. Give me a thumbs up for watching this video. Comment down below, of course, what you think about this, or give me suggestions to who to try out, and I might try them out soon. Subscribe for more 2K content. I put out a lot of 2K stuff. And yeah, tell your friends about this or share it wherever you want to. Thank you guys again for watching, and of course, have a good day.